That did not work. So welcome to Drum Electric. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and if you're old here, hi again. So I got a message from a good friend of mine, Craig, about updating the SPD-SX and some troubles that he ran into. So Craig's SPD is currently running version 1.04 and he wants to update it to 1.06 so he can use the different triggers. We're talking about the RT30 and the KT10. This is all new stuff that they added in the update. Perfectly reasonable. But there's a slight issue. He had trouble updating it from the memory stick, which you do directly into the SPD. And what happened was that the SPD would find the memory stick, it was all great, but as soon as he ran the update, it would just stop, reboot back to version 1.04. Now on the Roland website, there's a list of instructions, but they don't accept emails or help when you're updating this, so you're on your own a little bit. I'm currently running version 1.06, so I'm going to update all the way to the newest one, 1.08, and try it for myself, and hopefully it should work. So I guess if you could dedicate a video, Craig, this is dedicated to you. I don't know if that's weird. I'm going to do it anyway. So Craig, this is for you. So in order to get this working, you'll need a few things. The first being the SPD-SX, obviously. The second, a memory stick that's able to be formatted, so you've got nothing on it, and then a computer or a laptop. In my case, I'm going to be doing this all on Mac. You can absolutely do this on a Windows, but obviously this video is going to be Mac orientated. If you're wondering, this is a 2017 MacBook Pro with the Touch Bar, the 15-inch version. So yes, that does mean my life is filled with dongles, and yes, I do call this the dongle book. As mentioned earlier, the memory stick will need to be formatted, so we're going to do that bit first. So in order to do this, you don't need anything special. I'm just using a very cheap and cheerful 8GB memory stick. I use this to transfer odd files, but most of the time it just stays empty. So don't go using a really important massive 1TB hard drive. You absolutely do not need it. So on Mac, plug in the memory stick and then bring up Disk Utility. From here, you're going to find the USB stick. Mine's called a lanyard USB because it lives on my lanyard. Magical, I know. So from here, you're going to hit the erase button. Okay, so I'm going to name mine SPD-SX. And then you want to format to a FAT or FAT32. In this case, we're just going to go MS/DOS or DOS, and then FAT in brackets. From here, you can keep the guide partition map, that's fine. That did not work. Okay, so what happened here is the Mac formats it in two different ways. It's really weird. I'm not going to go into explaining the whole thing, but essentially what happens is if you do it the way that I showed on the video, then it formats it with a partition that the SPD does not like. So, in order to actually format it so it works, here's what you do. Go over to Disk Utility again, obviously making sure the USB stick is plugged in. This is what you normally get. So you have the external SPD-SX. That's what my USB is now called because I have already formatted it. So that's what you should get. But what you want to do is head up to this view panel, go to Show All Devices, and then basically hit on the drop-down menu of what the USB stick actually is. Okay, so there's a sub-menu, which is the title of it. You actually want to go to what it is, okay? So that's what mine is, the HP V211W Media. All right, then from here, you hit the erase button, name it, I'm gonna name it the SPD-SX. Format, you want the MS/DOS FAT, which is the FAT32. And then the scheme, you want it to be master boot record. Now I said it was the GUID, G-U-I-D, or guide, as I think I actually said, partition map. What you want to do is change that to master boot record, then just hit erase, let it do its thing, and then drag and drop as per, which we'll get into in a minute. But that's how you actually format it. And make sure you do it that way because otherwise it will not be detected by the SPD. I would also like to point out that I gave Craig a call about 5 minutes ago telling him the good news. Both of us for the last couple of days, I think by this point it's about 3 days, have been trying to work this out. And we finally did it. It's a good time. Yes. Anyway, hit done. Back to the video. Back to you, Harry. Our memory stick is now ready to rumble. Now we need to actually download the firmware onto it. So we'll go to your search engine of choice. In my case, it's Google, running on Google Chrome. And then we're going to search SPD-SX software. Hit enter, and then it should be the first one that comes up. Just in case it's not, you're looking for support-SPD-SX-update and drivers-Roland. Make sure you check that it's from the actual Roland website itself, just to be sure. And then it should take you to this website. You should have SPD-SX at the top of the page, and it's the top one there, SPD-SX System Program version 1.0. Have a clickety-poo, and then you'll get up this big old long page. So this is the System Program version 1.8. It shows you everything to do with it. So it tells you the version, it gives you all the previous versions, so what to expect in each update. So if you're not wanting to update to 1.08, check out the other ones as well, because your problem, if you have one, might be in there. If not, doctors are usually recommended. There's probably a cream for it somewhere. So once you're on this page, have a scroll basically to the bottom. So going past all of the version updates and things like that. It'll tell you what you need, which I've already gone through, and then some cautions, which we'll look at in a bit. So have a read through the license agreement and hit agree if you wish to proceed with the download. Whether you do read that or not is up to you. I'm going to hit download file, and our download should start. There we go. So now you'll get this zip folder. We're going to unzip that, and you should get SPD-SX underscore SYS sys underscore V108. That's it. So we're going to open up that folder, and you should have one file in there, underscore bootprog.es, bootprogram.es underscore. Okay. So with this, we are just going to drag that file specifically onto the memory stick directly. Now, don't drag the entire folder, just drag that program. So I'm going to do that, drag the one file. There it is on the memory stick, and then we're good to go. You do not want to put anything else on this memory stick. The SPD-SX gets very easily confused, much like the drummers using them, so we don't want to over confuse it. So now that's on there, we're going to eject the memory stick on Mac, because otherwise it complains at us, and then we're going to head over to the SPD. So it's important to note a few things that Roland have said on their website before we go ahead with this firmware update. So that is that make sure that you don't power this off whilst it's updating. If that does happen, or there's a power outage, then it will not boot back up again. And the only way to fix that is to send it back to Roland, and we don't want that, basically, because then you'll be out of an SPD for a couple of weeks. Now we've got those terrifying words out of the way, let's actually update it. So, to start off, we need to make sure that our SPD is actually powered off, which is slightly odd, but we're booting it from the USB stick. So, power the SPD off, and then insert your USB stick on the back into the memory slot. So now's the jungle fingers bit. What you're going to do now is hold down the all sound off button, the quick button, and the exit button all at the same time. You can usually do it with these three fingers, but see how you feel. Once you're holding those down, then hit the power on button. What will happen is the screen will flash, keep holding those fingers down, and wait until you get the update screen. Once that's up, then you can take those fingies off. The screen itself will say SPD-SX updater, and it will kind of look a little bit like the Matrix, but more like a computer thing. Trust me, it's doing its thing, don't you worry. From here, the update will start automatically, and you just have to leave it to it. You'll get a couple of numbers booting up and things like that. Leave it to do its thing, and eventually you'll get a little message saying to turn off and on the SPD. Okay, and all you do there is you literally turn it off as you would, unplug the USB stick from the back, and then turn it on, and it should turn on normally should the update have updated. So the last step in this, assuming it's turned back on and you're fully updated, is to actually check that we've got that firmware. So all you have to do there is just hit the menu button, go down to util, down to information, and then you should see version 1.08. If that says that, then you're all good to go. So that's it. Hopefully the SPD should still be alive and running version 1.08 or another one of your choice. And Craig, I hope this has helped. So there might be some issues along the way because technology is lovely like that. So please post any questions you have down below so we can help each other out. So don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for all of our shiny new videos, and I will see you in the next one.